Mixels. They are colorful creatures that love to mix with each other using qubits. Mixels come in many different shapes, sizes, and tribes. They all love to party and have fun. If this is your first time hearing about them, I'm gonna provide a timeline summary of all the events that happened. At least in this adaptation, that is. Welcome to the wonderful world of Mixels. Mixels Retold. The Complete Timeline, Volume 1, Series 0. Every universe has its guardian. In the Mixels universe's case, it's the great and powerful Maximum Mixel, as he created Planet Mixel with its moon and the very first 3 tribes, the Riverrays, Shrub Hub, and the Airmazings. The Riverrays are water type with Waterson as the father of Squart, Sidon, and Delson. The Shrub Hub is grass type with Flora being the mother of Carnete, Stempy, and Floro. And the Airmazings are flying type with Skylar as the father of Vayu, Gale, and Windy. The parents would act as their leader until their most independent child would earn their spot. Mysterious colorful squares known as qubits spawned over Mixeland to be used in various situations, resulting in mixes, maxes, and murps. As time went on, mysterious creatures that rivaled Mixels would appear. They were small, colorless, and square. They were the evil, fun-ruining Nixels. King Dominic's Nixel is their leader, with Major Nixelis Nixel acting as his title suggests. Their goal is to desaturate everything to black, white, and gray shades only. Major Nixel and his troops first attacked the Riverrays, Shrub Hub, and Airmazings in 1994. The Nixels thought they had the upper hand, not knowing about the qubits before it was too late. The 3 tribes used their qubits to max and defeat the Nixel army. King Nixel was infuriated with their failure and scolded the Major. Waterson, Flora, and Skylar were proud of their children. Capable of independence, Squart, Stempy, and Vayu became tribe leaders. Despite achieving their goals, the Mixels all knew the war against the Nixels was just getting started. Series 1. As the years passed, more tribes appeared. The fiery Infernites led by Magatha, the rock-hard Cragsters led by Brock, and the lightning-bolted Electroids led by Electricia. The 3 parents had their children, Flain, Vulk, Zorch, Krader, Seismo, Shuff, Teslo, Zaptor, and Velectro. In spring 2014, the Infernites were enjoying themselves in the Infernite Kingdom when Vulk alerted Flain and Zorch there was a hole in his room which tunneled somewhere, so they went inside to figure out who did it. When they came out the other end, they were in Cragster land. The Infernites didn't know where they were, so they decided to ask around. They asked someone named Shuff, and he told them where they were. He also told them that Krader was the one who dug a hole by accident. The Cragsters were having a digging contest to see who was the greatest. Shuff took the Infernites to Krader and Seismo, who were collecting gemstones. When they met for the first time, Flain asked the Cragsters what they do for fun. They also enjoy Rockball, which made the Infernites curious to see what it was about. So the Cragsters played Rockball, which is a free-for-all or team sport, while the goal is to hit all opposing players or teams using the given rock. Rockball is identical to dodgeball and volleyball in your universe. Despite Vulk and Zorch not wanting to play, Flain joined in and partnered up with Krader. As Seismo kicked the ball, Flain ran around in circles and ended up under it, lighting the ball on fire. Krader threw it back at Seismo and Shuff, and it collided with them, causing a huge explosion. Flain and Krader called the new game Mixel Ball, and the Infernites and Cragsters mixed with each other to play. The three Mixels launched 3 balls at each other while colliding, causing a massive explosion. Magatha and Brock were alerted to the scene and rushed to see if their kids were okay. Magatha and Brock were proud that they made their hangout happen ahead of schedule. The Infernites and Cragsters told their parents about their get-together and are now good friends. Little did they know, some Nixels were spying on them. The next day, Flain, Vulk, and Zorch came across 4 Plowers and each took one to eat. The 3 Infernites argued who would eat the last one until Flain pulled out a red cubit. The 3 then maxed to share the power among them, satisfied. Later, Flain and Vulk were in the hot lava tub, figuratively chilling in the Infernite Kingdom. Over in Cragster Land, Seismo was struggling to get one Coconapple from a tall Coconapple tree. Just then, Zorch came to Seismo's aid and offered to mix with him to reach the Coconapple, which scared Seismo. Seismo reluctantly agreed to mix after Zorch persuaded him. Together, they formed Seismorch, an Infernite Cragster mix with rocket feet. Their goal was to fly up to the tree and get one Coconapple. But unfortunately, Seismorch couldn't fly correctly and flew out of control like a balloon. Krader and Shuff were worried when they saw this, and to make matters worse, Seismorch knocked them down like bowling pins by accident. Flain and Vulk were still chilling in the lava hot tub, but to make matters much worse, Seismorch went into the tub and got stuck. Flain and Vulk got out before the tub exploded, sending Seismorch in the air. He reverted back to Seismo and Zorch. They fell and landed near the tree where they started. Seismo was upset with Zorch. One Coconapple fell out of the tree and knocked Seismo unconscious. Zorch looked up and covered his head when the rest of the Coconapples fell out. Coconapples, he said. At least he technically helped Seismo get at least one Coconapple in the end. Seismo would be sure to enjoy his snack once he regained consciousness. The next morning, the Cragsters were out looking for gemstones and crystals. They found 2 boulders and an extra large one. They began smashing them to find the gems inside, but Krader was unable to smash his, so Shuff pulled out a gray cubit and the 3 maxed, which easily broke open the boulder with Megabite and a touch. There were lots of gems inside. Later that day, Shuff ordered a teddy butterfly online so he could complete his collection of ceramic figurines. Zorch, just hired as a part-time Mailmixel, kept missing the delivery, which angered Shuff. Shuff called Seismo to help stop Zorch. Seismo placed a giant boulder in place of an entrance to Cragster Land to stop Zorch, which failed, as he just ran up and over it. Shuff then called Krader to help, and Krader decided they will dig underground and surprise Zorch when he runs by. This failed, however. Shuff came to the conclusion that they needed to max to catch Zorch, so they formed the Cragsters Max and successfully caught Zorch. The teddy butterfly was delivered, and Shuff accidentally smashed it out of excitement. But luckily, Zorch was carrying a spare as backup. That night, the Infernites and Cragsters were back in their homes, getting ready for bed. They had a great week so far. They couldn't wait to meet more new friends and have more adventures. Flain noticed there was a green star in the sky. He asked Magatha what it was. It was rumored that the green star was a god watching over them and possibly many universes out there. Flain was amazed. Little did the Infernites know, Major Nixel was watching them. He scheduled his Nixel troops to attack the Infernite Kingdom tomorrow. The next day, Flain and Seismo prepared to ride a lava slide in the Infernite Kingdom until they were interrupted by a lone Nixel that repeatedly annoyed them. He was apparently capable of constructing full sentences unlike the other Nixels. The Nixel insulted Flain and Seismo before Seismo kicked the Nixel to a rock, which angered him, and called for backup, summoning an entire swarm of Nixels. Flain and Seismo attempted to mix, but a Nixel knocked their cubit away and were attacked by the swarm. The two eventually managed to retrieve the cubit, mix, and fended off the Nixels, and then created a giant lava slide. The two prepared to ride the slide, but were attacked once again by the lone talking Nixel, which Seismo kicked away. Major Nixel was upset that his troops failed, but they were willing to try again, albeit a different strategy. Over in the Electroid Kingdom, Tesla prepared to teach Vulk and Zaptor about changing a light bulb while Electricia was away. Vulk questioned if they would ever need to know that. Following his question, the light bulb blew. The three search in the dark for a light bulb, finding a hamloni sandwich, a cubit, and finally a light bulb. Tesla realized they'll need to max to reach the socket. The trio maxed and plugged in the light bulb, which did not have enough power. The Max plugged its tail into the wall to charge it, which overloaded it, causing the light bulb's sun to blow. Luckily, the Mix storyteller was able to repair it. The next day, Electricia was at her job, charging power while her children were resting in a field. Suddenly, the Nixels showed up, which surprised the Electroids. The vicious black squares began to attack them. Thankfully, the Electroids shocked themselves, electrocuting the Nixels, warding them off. The three began to make a run for it. Tesla, Zaptor, and Vulk ran for their lives, looking for a cubit to max and defeat the Nixels chasing after them. They each shot one rod of lightning high into the clear sky. The three rods then spelled SOS, signaling for help. Zorch was doing his deliveries as Post-Mixel when he saw the signal, and he raced back to the Infernite Kingdom to warn his friends. The chase finally came to a close when the Electroids were cornered by a cliff. They said their goodbyes as if it was the end for them. The talking Nixel taunted the Electroids, pulling out a yellow cubit, only for Karma to strike by blowing a gust of wind off the Nixel's hand. Tesla caught the cubit with his tail, and the three Electroids formed the Electroids Max. He used Lightning Whip with his tail to take out chunks of Nixels. Then, someone used Flamethrower on the rest of the Nixels' troops. The Infernites Max had come to the rescue. The talking Nixel was the only Nixel left. The two Maxes stared into his soul, scaring him off. The two Maxes reverted back to their components. The Infernites and Electroids introduced themselves to each other and are now good friends. The Nixels will have to try harder if they want to exterminate all of the Mixels. The Electroids then went home and told their mother all about their adventure when she got home. Electricia decided to place some traps in case any Nixels were about to attack again. If that ever happens, the three Electroids will be ready to fight. The next day, Krader, Seismo, and Shrub argued about who is better at digging and decided to hold a contest to prove who is the best. The three dug into the ground and split off in different directions. Seismo and Shrub emerged where they started without Krader, questioning his location. Krader managed to find himself having dug into the Electroid Kingdom. He set off one of Electricia's traps and was quickly kidnapped by the Electroids. They thought he was a weird pale Nixel with gold accents because they had never seen a Cragster before. Seismo and Shrub caught up to find Krader strapped to an electric tree. The two told the Electroids to stop sacrificing him. Tesla assured the two that they weren't sacrificing anyone, and Electro chimed in, claiming they were just preparing for the Electroid annual dance party before this. Krader wanted it in, and the Cragsters and Electroids held a dance party. The two tribes maxed to have more fun. The two maxes began to conversate over who was the greatest dancer, and then decided to hold a contest. The most important thing was that both tribes had fun hanging out together. The next morning, Vulk was enjoying a lava shower until the shower pipe clogged. He reached out to Flain and Zorch for help, as Krader and Tesla would be coming over later for ice cream. The three decided to max to fix the faucet and send a flame through the pipe, which reached Cragster Land and the Electroid Kingdom, which burned Krader's rear and Tesla's mouth. The two confronted Vulk about being burned by their pipes. Vulk apologized and treated them to ice cream. That late afternoon, Vulk and Zaptor were having a nice walk, telling jokes and laughing, when Zaptor fell into a pothole. Zaptor began ranting about how Vulk could have fallen into it, and physically demonstrated so, and how it is a safety hazard to the landscape. Vulk suggested the two mix it to fix it. They do so and end up destroying the entire landscape. The two high-fived and continued telling jokes. The mix storyteller then came to help and restore the environment with his magic. On a bright sunny day, the Infernites, Cragsters, and Electroids enjoyed Cookironis. Krader asked for another from Flain and gave him one until he realized that was the last one. All of the Mixels stare at Krader, who retreated underground to enjoy his snack. The 9 Mixel All-Star Brawl was on. As Krader was about to eat the Cookironi, Zorch snagged it from him. Zorch too then loses the Cookironi to Shrub, who then got smacked away by Vulk, and then loses the snack to Zaptor. He got ambushed by the Cragsters, who maxed to chase him. Tesla and Electro save Zaptor, and the 3 Electroids maxed to fight off the Cragsters max. The Infernites joined in, and the 3 maxes located the last Cookironi and fought for it. The 3 maxes ended up splitting out of exhaustion, and Zorch accidentally sat on the Cookironi, crumbling it, upsetting everyone. Just then, Magatha, Brock, and Electricia all came along. They bought more Cookironis, which delighted the 9 Mixels. This time, after they ate them all, the Mixels were all satisfied when there were no more Cookironis left again. The next day, Flain and Krader were stuck from reaching a party due to a river blocking them from reaching it. Flain suggested the two mix, but Krader remarked that mixing might not always work. Flain agreed with him, yet they were eager to mix. Flain and Krader ended up murping. They formed Drenleth, who caught on fire, being forced to throw himself into the river. After the balloon Yada and Candy are mentioned by the partygoers, the two try mixing again and succeed. Crane rushed across the river and was about to crash before the mix storyteller used Life Grip to catch them. Flain and Krader made it and were ready for rad fun. They didn't know this, but if it weren't for the mix storyteller, the party would have been crashed and Tesla's voltmeter would have registered it as super lame instead of super fun. Wouldn't that have been silly?